There's an animated Christmas classic that a surprising number of people I know have never seen or even heard about for that matter. Stay tuned, Dad's coming right up. The Snowman is a 1978 book by author Raymond Briggs that was turned into an animated holiday special in 1982 for British public television and aired to great success that year and every year afterwards, I'm told, but only in the UK. And it's well known there, but has never really gained a following in the United States, and I think there's some good reasons for that, which we'll get into. First of all, there is no dialogue in this movie. It is essentially a silent movie. There's beautiful music throughout and sound effects, but the story is told completely visually, which is not something we're really used to, especially for a holiday animated special. The plot is very simple. A young boy wakes up on a snowy morning during the holidays, is very excited to see that it snowed, runs outside, and he meticulously and lovingly builds a snowman all day long, puts his heart into it. The sun goes down, he gets ready for bed, he falls asleep, and later that night, while everyone else is in bed, he sneaks out and the snowman comes to life. The two have a series of very small, intimate, personal adventures around the house. They sneak into the kitchen and the snowman tries on different noses from the fruit bowl. They sneak outside and have a little adventure on a motorbike, which somehow doesn't wake anybody up. And then, sort of unprompted, the snowman takes the boy's hand and they take flight and fly over the city. There's a beautiful song that is played during the flight, which is parodied on YouTube if you want to check it out. The song is Walking in the Air. Someone did a Christopher Walken in the Air parody, and it's kind of humorous. It is also the one place that any of my American friends had ever heard of anything to do with this movie, so that tells you something. The two fly to the North Pole where they find an entire town of snowmen, and then the snowman introduces the boy to Father Christmas, aka Santa Claus. Santa Claus introduces the boy to his reindeer, gives him a memento of the trip, a little scarf with snowman on it. And then it's time to go home. The snowman takes the boy's hand again. They fly back over the sights and sounds of the world. They land again in the boy's yard. He goes into bed, and the next morning he wakes up, and the snowman, of course, has melted. And the story ends on that sad note. I think that's another reason why American audiences would never really take to this, or at least the rationale for never really showing it here. We like our Christmas stories to end on sort of an upbeat note, and this is a very sad, somber end. It's all very beautiful. The animation is beautiful. The music, as I said, is beautiful, but the story does not sort of go along with what we're used to in terms of tone. We don't have, a villain per se, and we don't have a plot per se. It's a very dreamlike experience. The two are just having fun. It's a child's fantasy. It'll appeal to the child in all of us, no matter your age, but it is a childlike sort of approach to a story. It's a flight of fancy, literally. And you just sort of have to roll with it. If you're watching this in the UK, this is all old news to you, but if you're watching this in the United States, this may be a movie you just were not aware of, and I do urge you to check it out. My daughter Abby really liked this movie, I think. She did sort of watch it with sort of a blank stare for the most part, and I almost thought she was bored when I looked a little closer. She was really just sort of transfixed with this movie, and she just, I think, was trying to navigate what was going to happen next without the usual cues and without the usual plot lines that she's become used to, even at the age of 4. And something really interesting happened at the end when I finally just had to ask her what she thought. She just turned to me while the credits were rolling after the fact and burst into tears and said, "It was too sad. I did not want him to melt." And you know what? It made me think. She didn't cry like that over Frosty the Snowman when he melted. Same sort of story, same sort of ending, except the music, I think, in the Frosty the Snowman special really kind of tells you, even as a first-timer, that everything's going to be sort of okay. Santa Claus is arriving, and there's magic in the air, and You're just getting ready for the Christmas miracle. And in the Snowman, there is no miracle per se. The snowman melts, and the story ends. She, is so used to being spoon-fed and telegraphed how to feel by so much of her children's programming. And this, although she cried for a little while, she really did get something out of it because she had to work a little bit. She also had to wait, and she had to give herself permission to feel it and permission to decide what she had just seen. And I think that was a valuable experience for her, and I think she even felt that on some level. And it's not a dour, downbeat movie. The last few seconds is sad. Most of it is a lot of fun, and your kids will tune into it, I think, the way my daughter did, and enjoy it as a flight of fancy, a lot of fun, imagining what they would do if their snowman came to life, and just enjoy it for what it is. I hope that's the experience you have. Let me know in the comments if it is, or if it's not. Maybe we'll disagree, and that's fine too. There are 3 different versions of this movie. All of them, from what I'm told, are exactly the same once the animation starts. The difference is just the opening. You have the original Raymond Briggs version, which we actually thought was the wrong movie when we first started watching it. It seemed a little creepy. With this guy walking into these dark woods. Then there's the David Bowie version, where he walks into a sort of Christmas-themed attic and recounts the story of being a boy and building a snowman. And then, from what I understand, there's another version starring the voice actor for Father Christmas. All 3 openings, as I said, lead into the same animated holiday special. So it doesn't really matter too much. It's a 30-second opening. So whatever version you can hunt down, whether it's on streaming, online, downloading, or DVD. The DVD we have has the Raymond Briggs and the David Bowie opening as an alternate for you to enjoy. But whichever one you find one, because it really is a worthy addition to your holiday collection. Fast forward score, I'm going to say 0 for this film, pretty much. You don't have to really fast forward anything, depending on the sensitivity of your kid. There is a moment where the snowman leads the boy into a dark wood. It gets a little intense for just a moment until they emerge almost immediately into the snowman town, where there's a big party going on and nothing bad is happening at all. She got through it very quickly, and there's nothing else really. Daddy's reason to watch, I'm going to say David Bowie. You sort of have to say David Bowie in this instance. He's sort of the touchstone between our 2 cultures. As far as this film is concerned, he was not, as I said, in the original version of this film. He was kind of tacked on, but a lot of people in the UK grew up with that version and consider it the definitive one. Maybe watch David Bowie singing with Bing Crosby one night, and then right after play the David Bowie introduction to this film. It might make for an interesting night's viewing for you and for your child. So I do give my highest recommendation to The Snowman this holiday season. I do think it's a worthy addition to any holiday collection. Track down whatever version you can. It really is worth your time. So I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who has tuned in this year as we put up our 12th episode. We really had great plans to do one every week and do an episode every other week then, and then now we've just barely made one a month. Thank you for sticking with us. It's been a blast. I enjoy it. It's just life gets in the way, and I have a 4-year-old daughter, as you know. We do get to this as often as we can, and we're going to keep doing so in the new year. Till then, connect with us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Patreon, some of you. Thank you so much for supporting us. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please hit the like button if you haven't on all of our videos. It does help, and we'll see you soon.